A popular question people ask themselves about space is when they'll be able to visit it themselves. Some want to see Earth from orbit, others would like to simply walk on the moon. And hey, some may just want to lay on the surface of Mars for a really good tan. Well, one day these dreams may become a reality as tourism ventures into space become more and more common. In fact, there are even plans to allow tourists to spend a few days on the moon. So are we ready for lunar vacations? Let's find out. The moon has fascinated humanity since the dawn of civilization. The romantic notion of traveling there has attracted dreamers for decades, maybe centuries. But only now is it becoming a real possibility. On July 20th, 1969, Apollo 11 astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin became the first humans to set foot on the moon. It was truly a giant leap for mankind, an incredible scientific achievement that had never before seemed possible. Now, almost half a century later, commercial enterprises are working toward making trips to our natural satellite a normal part of life. Such enterprises include the aforementioned space adventures, which began in 1998 and offers orbital tourism, including a trip to the International Space Station. Also, there's SpaceX, founded by Elon Musk in 2002, with the stated goal of reducing transportation costs to enable the colonization of Mars. More recently, the company has been offering suborbital flights on its Dragon spacecraft, taking passengers on a brief joyride to the edge of space and back again. And then there's Blue Origin, created by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. In 2000, with the goal of developing technologies to allow for space travel and further human expansion into outer space. Of course, we can't forget about NASA's Artemis project, which aims to establish a human presence on the moon. They have their sights set on the 2020s. And so all of these different programs suggest that a future where holidays on the moon are a thing of the future is not unrealistic. But how soon will this future become a reality? Well, it's difficult to say exactly when regular vacations on the moon will become available. However, judging by the progress that's already been made, we can be optimistic. If you want to take a trip to the moon, you'd better start saving up. While the price of a ticket to orbit has decreased significantly since the early days of space travel, going all the way to the moon is still prohibitively expensive. As of right now, only the ultra-rich can afford such a luxury. According to Space Adventures, a seat on a Soyuz MS-22 spacecraft to the ISS costs $58 million. A seat on the SpaceX Inspiration for Flight, which doesn't go to the moon, but takes passengers to the upper reaches of space for 3 days before returning to Earth, costs $55 million. Meanwhile, a trip on Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket, which also doesn't go to the moon, but takes passengers above the Kármán line, which marks the boundary between Earth's atmosphere and outer space, costs a comparatively paltry $28 million. Obviously, if prices decrease in the future, more people will be able to afford a trip to the moon. So how much does a vacation on the moon cost? If you want a vacation on the moon, you're looking at spending at least $55 million. But that's only for the ride there. You'll need to budget extra cash for food, lodging, and activities once you arrive. Space Adventures offers a 6-day trip to the moon that includes 2 days of training, 2 days in transit, and 2 days on the moon itself. During your stay, you'll get to do a lot of sightseeing, including visiting the Apollo 11 landing site, taking a lunar rover tour, and viewing the Earth from the moon's surface. You'll also have the opportunity to purchase souvenirs and gifts for your loved ones. How long can you stay on the moon? In order to keep costs down, most lunar vacations are only a couple of days long. This gives visitors enough time to experience the most important highlights of the moon, including walking on the surface, taking in the breathtaking scenery, and taking pictures for social media. However, it's unclear whether longer stays will be possible in the future. After all, scientists don't yet know how long humans can survive on the moon without any life support systems. Plus, living on the moon is extremely dangerous. Visitors could be exposed to high levels of radiation and micrometeorites, not to mention the lack of oxygen and water. And so far, no one's sure how the human body will react to these conditions after prolonged exposure. How do you get to the moon? There are many different ways to get to the moon, but the most common method is via a rocket. There are also plans to use other methods in the future, such as solar sails and laser propulsion. Currently, several companies offer tourist trips to the moon, including Space Adventures. which partners with Russia's space agency to send tourists on a 7-day trip aboard a Soyuz spacecraft. Another option is SpaceX, which plans to send tourists on a 3-day trip aboard its Starship spacecraft. What will you do on the moon? There are a lot of things to do on the moon. First, you can explore the surface, which is covered in craters, mountains, and vast plains of volcanic rock. Second, you can take a rover tour to see the highlights of the moon up close and personal. Third, you can visit the Apollo 11 landing site and walk in the footsteps of the first astronauts to set foot on the moon. Fourth, you can attend a moonwalk experience where you get to try out special equipment that simulates what it would feel like to walk on the moon. Fifth, you can attend a star party and view the wonders of the night sky from the moon's surface. With no light pollution or atmosphere to obscure the view, the stars and planets appear incredibly bright and clear. And lastly, you can relax and soak up the unique atmosphere of the moon. Is the moon dangerous? The moon is indeed dangerous. Exposure to the vacuum of space can cause serious health problems, including the rapid onset of hypoxia, which can lead to unconsciousness and death within minutes. Additionally, the lack of gravity can cause muscle and bone loss, as well as fluid redistribution in the body. The moon's surface is also littered with sharp rocks and craters that could easily injure or kill an unprotected human. And finally, temperatures on the moon can reach extreme highs and lows, making it very difficult for the human body to regulate its own temperature. However, modern technology has made it possible for humans to survive on the moon for extended periods of time. Spacesuits and helmets can protect against the vacuum of space, while rovers can transport people safely across the surface. What should I pack for the moon? When packing for the moon, be sure to bring a spacesuit and helmet, as well as sturdy footwear and gloves to protect your skin from the harsh lunar environment. Also, don't forget to pack plenty of food and water to stay hydrated and nourished during your stay. Finally, be sure to bring a camera to capture the stunning views of Earth and the rest of the solar system. Who should go to the moon? Anyone who's interested in space exploration and the adventure of a lifetime should consider going to the moon. It's an amazing experience that will allow you to see Earth from a whole new perspective. Just be sure to pack accordingly and take all necessary precautions to stay safe. Will the moon ever be colonized? That's a tough question to answer. There are certainly a lot of benefits to colonizing the moon, including its abundance of natural resources and strategic location in our solar system. However, there are also a lot of challenges, including the harsh environment and the difficulty of transporting people and supplies back and forth. Only time will tell whether or not the moon will ever be colonized. Do you want to go to the moon? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos about space.